Hi everyone, and welcome to the first catch up with the Gaffer of the 2021-2022 season. It's a mouthful, that, isn't it?
It certainly is, mate. Yeah.
How are you doing anyway, Pete?
I'm good. When you just said that, I was like, wow, I'm happy to still be here after 2 years. So I'm good, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
To
be fair, I don't think we've
fresh
actually
from watching the footy last night.
Yeah, brilliant. I don't think we've actually touched upon you signing a new contract, with the club's official media outlet. I don't think we've actually touched upon that yet. Pete, it's a couple of months late, us touching upon it, but how do you feel signing that new 2-year deal with Millie?
Well, really pleased. It shows we're doing something right for the chairman to offer us another 2-year deal. So we're really pleased to be here. We feel like we've made really big progress. We feel like we've made lots of changes off the field, which are now coming to fruition on the field. And we're excited. We're excited about what the future brings. We're excited about another season in this league and how tough and how competitive this league is. And we're excited about where we can take the club and keep pushing forward and keep pushing the club forward, which I feel like we've done in the last 2 years.
This is going to be your third pre-season with Halifax Town. How would you say this one's gone so far in the early stages?
Well, it's been an interesting one because this has probably been the toughest one since I've been here, because the first season we had 9 days. Last season it was very much COVID affected, so a lot of players were just jumping at offers just because they wanted a club. Well, this year, to say there's been a global pandemic, and you wouldn't believe that was some of the money that's getting thrown around. I spit my coffee out every morning when people come back to me on their dues and demands, and I just think it's tough. It's tough. We've now inherited 2 bigger clubs as well, and the money that's flying around is very hard to compete with. So what we need to do is make sure our football offer is solid, and we have to deliver on our football offer. I'm confident that we've done that in the last 12 months, and I'm confident we'll do that again. So players are coming here because they want to become better footballers, not because they want to become millionaires. And that's refreshing that people are coming to us because they want to develop. They see us as a club where they will develop, and they see us as a club as maybe a stepping stone to move on to bigger and better things. So that really pleases me.
Yeah, brilliant. And we'll just sort of touch upon a few of the contracts that have been sort of sorted out, and players that have gone and players that have renewed their contracts. We'll start with players who have renewed their contracts. Sam Johnson and Luke Summerfield so far announced. You must be really happy with those 2 guys signing on for next season, and obviously Sam signing on for 2 years, should I say, and then Luke for the next year.
Well, they're 2 solid pros. I mean, Sam's been a phenomenal servant to the football club. And when we know what we're getting with Sam, we know, I think actually last season under Paul Oakes, the goalie coach, he developed massively. His distribution become fantastically better. He's pulling out saves a game. I always say to him every game, we're going to need you at least once a half. And if he keeps his levels and keeps progressing, he certainly can become a better footballer over the next 2 years. And we've seen that in the 2 years that we've been here, and hence why we wanted to tie him down to another 2-year deal. So really pleased to get him over the line. Like I say, we know what we're getting, and between the 2 of us, we really think we can keep developing. We keep developing him. In terms of Luke, I mean, Luke was one of the linchpins that we certainly wanted to nail down as quickly as possible. Luke had an excellent season last season, and I knew what he'd bring to the club, having sort of followed him for some time before he come to the club. The way he conducts himself, he might not be the most vocal every day in training, but the way he conducts himself on and off the pitch is something for the younger pros to look at and how to behave and how to do things. And then on a Saturday, there's 2 types of bravery in football. There's putting your head in where it hurts and winning tackles, which Luke certainly does. But one of his biggest traits is he wants to get on the ball, even if he makes a mistake, even if it doesn't go his way, even if there's 2 or 3 men around him, he still wants the ball. And I think that's probably one of the biggest compliments I can give Luke, is that he always wants the ball. And the way we like to play, we need holding midfielders who want to get on the ball, and he certainly does that. So it's fantastic because we developed a style of play last year of how we wanted to play, and the more people that we can retain to make sure we build on that style of play is massive, and they're 2 people who are crucial to how we play.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, Pete. And we'll just sort of look on the other side of players leaving the club. Jeff King and Jack Aaron have left us most recently. Obviously, Jack's gone on to Warsaw. And what did you make of the whole sort of situation with Jeff and Jack leaving the club?
Well, we made them both really competitive offers, and what we have to do in every, regardless of what people think, what we have to do with every offer is give them as competitive offer as we possibly can. And if it is a no, we have to then me and the chairman sit down and say to ourselves, did we give them the best offer we possibly could? In both them situations, it was a yes, but they had better offers elsewhere of which we could not compete. And we have to be honest with ourselves. And I've been very open and honest over the last 2 years of being at this club. We have a threshold and we have a budget to work from. And if people come outside that threshold and that budget, we have to shake hands and go all the best. Now, the two lads have been very complimentary of us on the way out in the fact that we've given them a platform, we've made them better footballers. Hey, they've done most of the work, but we've helped them to try and get there. I'm really excited for them both of what the future holds for them, knowing that we've had a chance to assist in their development. And now teams from higher levels or teams with far bigger budgets than us are coming taking our players. It's not like last summer when we're losing teams to the league below, or we're losing players who think they're going for better deals. And let's be honest, not once last summer did we get bit on the bum. But now we're getting teams from higher leagues and higher budgets taking our players, which means we're doing something right. So I think the two players deserve a lot of credit for how they've developed themselves, and the staff at the football club should take a little bit of credit for developing two young players. But that now comes with a reputation, and we're now building a reputation where agents and players are now contacting us because they see us as people who can develop their players or them in terms of the players. So that really pleases me. Yeah,
brilliant. And like you said, with reputation, Halifax Town has a reputation of making players go from non-league to the Football League. But you must be hoping that come this season, every single one of those Halifax Town players will be a Football League player. And I'm sure that's the main target, is it, Pete, for this season?
That's the dream every year, but I ain't going to put pressure on the players to say we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Like last year, we want to progress. Did we progress this season in a full-time model? Dead right, we did. All right. So as I said in many an interview, the tangible result is that we're in the playoffs, and the utopia is that we go up. But what I want to see every year at this football club is progression. Well, the remit when we came in was please keep us in the league. We got to the playoffs. The remit last year was to progress. We progressed into a full-time model, into a style of play, into an environment where actually you can see on the pitch there's progression. So I want us to progress again. Listen, the tangible outcome is that we get into the playoffs, and like I say, utopia is we go up, and that's always the challenge every year. Am I happy with finishing 10th? Well, I think it's a good return, but I still want more, because I wouldn't be doing my job if I thought 10th was okay and complacency. But I see massive progression over the last 2 years, and all I want us to do again is progress and provide a style of football and a brand of football that hopefully people in person will be able to watch next year.
Yeah, and we'll just sort of touch upon the sort of National League this season as a whole, but we'll just focus on the Torquay versus Hartlepool game that's happened recently. Hartlepool United obviously getting that promotion to the Football League. Did you watch that game, Pete?
I did. I watched all the playoff games because that's the only reason how I'm going to get better. What a great advert for National League football, by the way, to start off with.
Yeah, very good.
We all know that I have my run-ins with officials, and I fully support Gary Johnson's comments after the game of how have Torquay not won that with the 2 goals they've scored. There's nothing wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, basically. And he's been promoted to the Football League, the referee. So wow. But in terms of in terms of the game, I mean, Hartlepool for me, the way Dave Challen has set his team up this year and the players he's recruited some excellent players, and fair play to him. And they're a really good team, and the types of goals you score, they're scoring them week after week, which shows me they've got a way of playing and a pattern of play. So I thought when Stockport played Hartlepool, whoever won that game would go up, and I was right. But Torquay have got some really exciting talent, very athletic, some exciting footballers, a manager that knows how to do things. So it could have gone either way, let's be honest. And when it comes down to a penny shootout at the end to decide who goes into the league above, I think that shows you how tight the league is and how tight the games have been. So I'm really pleased for Dave. Spoke to Dave and congratulated him. I've always found out a tough place to go, so I'm happy they've gone up because I've won 2 out of 3 games at Torquay, so I don't really mind the trip.
And with Hartlepool going up, that makes Halifax the most northern club in the National League this season. Do you feel like that could benefit us, maybe bringing in players from the North East, with us being the most northern club? Or do you think that's not something that normally occurs like that, or is it just wishful thinking, really?
Well, we try and recruit as northern as possible anyway, because we do have club accommodation, but we're trying to keep them costs down as much as possible. I believe people find it more difficult if you're a southern player to play up north than if you're a northern player to play in the south. So if you've got your creature comforts, that it's better for you. And as we've tried to do last year and as we're trying to do this year, we're trying to get Yorkshire lads, because then there's an affinity with the football club. Even better, like Jack Senior, if they're from Halifax, that's even better.
Yeah.
So we are trying to recruit local, and that's a big push for me, because I like people to have an identity. I like people to understand where they're playing and what it's all about, and to understand who they're playing for. So them northern sort of working class benefits, if I can get them in footballers, there's an affinity with the fans. Yeah. So yes, we are one of the most northern clubs. That does come with its own problems of travel and costs of travel and permanently being in London, but that is what it is, and we have to capitalise on the best way we can. So hopefully in a roundabout way that answers your question.
Yeah, perfect, Pete, perfect. And we'll focus on the 2 teams that have dropped into our league this season. In Southend United and Grimsby Town, 2 big football league teams again dropping into National League. Your thoughts on those 2 coming down?
2 massive clubs again, aren't they? I mean, Southend have had a rough time of things over the last 2 years. Speaking to Phil Brown last week, and they're going to have to try and hit the ground running, because when you drop through the leagues, there's a losing culture that breeds through the football club, and what you've got to try and do is break that losing culture, and that's got to be Phil's first job there, is to break the losing culture. So it'll be interesting to see how they start and how they push. They obviously have the parachute payment from the Football League that will assist them in trying to get back up. And then you look at Grimsby. I think Grimsby made some really good signings, some astute signings, a couple of players that we were interested in that have chosen Grimsby instead of us. So I think they add to the another two big teams. So you're looking now, there's at least 10 teams there with phenomenal budgets that are going to be pushing at the right end of the table. And what I keep saying to the players that we're trying to attract is that at least 4 or 5 will get it wrong. That's just the nature of the beast. So when the 4 or 5 get it wrong with the budgets that they've got, what we've got to be ready to do is capitalise. Yeah. And the best way that we can capitalise is making sure that our tactical and technical ability on the football pitch is spot on, because that's how we kept up the last 2 years, and that's how we'll have to keep up again, is making sure that we're tactical and technically astute, and we work as hard as we can to make sure that we, if we can't outplay them, we outwork them. And they're the ways that we can make up for not having the bigger budget or the so-called bigger players.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it. But yeah, again, 2 massive names coming into our league.
Yeah, definitely. And just sort of turning attention back on us then, Gaffer, we've got our pre-season friendly schedule all sorted, all done and dusted, all sort of printed down now. Your thoughts about those games?
Well, again, try to keep them as local as possible. Yeah. Someone was saying, well, Carlisle's not local. Well, we had planned a home game on that weekend, and because of the rugby, we couldn't do that. So then you're left scratching around to try and find somebody to play. Chris Beach from Carlisle rang me, and they were without a game. We needed it to be away from home. Weren't really a lot of options. So we went for that game, and we went for the Friday night for the biggest reason of that. It could allow me on the Saturday to maybe go and start to have a look at the teams. The fixtures will be out there, to go and look at the teams who we may come up against and get out and have a look. So it made sense for both me and Chris to do it on a Friday night.
Yeah.
As I say, most of the others are local-ish. and it's trying to get the balance of composition. We wanted to play Fylde because we believe that Fylde will want to be one of the big hitters in the league below. It was important we tried to get some of the big hitters from the league below. And then there's one date, 3 of the 14th of August, and trying to get something at home on that day.
Yeah.
We're looking to try and get a U23 team. We have sort of got a U23 team to play us, but we're waiting for their fixtures to come out.
Yeah.
To make sure that the game can go ahead. So we don't want to announce anything until then.
Yeah.
But on the 14th, the Conference North start. The Football League have already started. So you're very, very small, unless you play a team from our league. And we've had a couple of offers from teams from our league, but I don't really like playing teams in our league. I just don't think it's right in pre-season.
Yeah.
So you are very condensed in what we do. But again, it'll be a chance for some trialists to come in. It'll be a chance for the players to get to know each other. It'll be a chance to build minutes up. I don't really read a lot into pre-season. Pre-season last year, if you looked at results, was average. For me, it's about a run out and getting a run around and making sure that we get some of the tactical detail into. It's not about the result. I couldn't care less about the result. If we play well, the result will take care of itself. But that's about it for me. Yeah.
And do you feel like playing teams? Oh, that was loud, wasn't it? Was that loud on yours? It's got a notification. Do you feel like playing teams in the National League North, such as Farsley and Guiseley, gives us an opportunity to maybe look at their young players as well, like we did with Kieran Spence, bringing him in from Scarborough? I know we didn't play Scarborough, but the networking sort of thing, that kind of thing. Do you feel like that's because I know you and Millie do like to bring in your sort of younger players and sort of let them develop at the club?
Yeah, well, network is important, and finding that gem, that young player that will hopefully push and progress on, is massively important. And we can, like with Jack here, and in some respects Jack, because he's only 23 when he came to the club, finding them gems and making them better is probably where we're going to produce money and then produce revenue for the football club. So yeah, that's important. It's always nice to know what your neighbours have got and then what they've been looking at. Some of the things that might have come off the radar from what we're looking at. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's more important that it's local. It's teams that we trust, that play a brand of football that will test us. And again, it's nice to have them relationships with our local clubs and make sure that our community and our networks, it's all good natured, because you never know when we might want to loan somebody out to them, or you never know what, like you say, vice versa, they might have a gem that we want to move into our football club. So it's important that our local network's strong and solid.
Yeah, going from sort of the local teams to national teams. How have you been watching much of the Euros then, Pete?
Yeah, I'd probably call it a riot in the pub every time I go in, because like every football fan, this is my only chance to be a football fan.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think I'm a realistic, pragmatic football fan, because I come from a football background. I'm really pleased with how we're playing. We ain't conceded the goal. I don't want people's arguments now. We ain't conceded the goal. We're controlling the football. Teams don't look like they're going to score against us. Even the Czechs the other night, they've had a couple of chances, but they don't look like they're going to score against us. I'm really pleased with how Gareth's setting up. We've got a lot of options. People can criticise him. Why is he not picking X, Y, and Z? But let's be honest, the group's so solid in terms of what he can pick. It must be tough for him to look people in the eyes and leave them out, because he probably hasn't got an excuse to leave them out. Yeah. So I'm really, really pleased with how he's gone about his business. He's not listened to the outside noise. He's gone about how he sees things, and I firmly believe the bloke's got us to a World Cup semi-final. The bloke's got enough credence in the bank to do whatever he wants in this championship, and we have to trust him to make the right decisions. And some may disagree with that, and most of them, pals in the pub, think I'm talking like I'm doing an interview, but I firmly believe he's getting it right, and I'm really pleased he is, because it's about time that a manager was given, an England manager was supported and backed.
Yeah, and of course Germany in the next round. What are your feelings about that then, Pete? Are you nervous, or do you think we'll beat them?
Excited. Out of the 4 teams, if we had, apart from Hungary, obviously, out of the other 3 teams, if you wanted anybody, I'd took Germany. I think Germany actually play a style of football that will suit us. I think they've got players that we can deal with better than the French and the Portuguese, and I think that yes, it'll be a tight game. Yes, everything that comes with England, Germany, and everybody for the next 7 days will build it up to be this game. When they do that, they're generally rubbish. You look at the Premier League games they build up, they're normally rubbish. And they'll build it up. But again, if Gareth takes the pragmatic approach he's took through the group stages, I don't see a problem.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Sounds good. You're building me with a bit of confidence with that, Pete. And to be fair, of course, there was a bit of a Halifax Town relevancy in the Euros with David Brooks, who was on loan at Halifax a few years ago. Obviously, he's in the Wales squad, isn't he? So do you think maybe we might be seeing any Halifax lads playing internationally in Euros? Or of course, we've got Jamie Allen, we must not forget, maybe playing World Cup, things like that. When players do go on to international duty, we had Javaro as well last season. What's that like as a club manager when your players are sort of moved off, especially with COVID, when they have to come back and isolate? What's that been like, would you say, Pete?
Well, I really enjoy them. I think as a footballer or a football manager, you want to compete at the highest level. And when they go away, we have to accept, and it really pleases me. It really pleases. I can't do anything about it, by the way. So if they want to, if they call up, they've got to go. But really pleases me. If anybody who wants to better themselves, anybody who wants to play at the top of the game, then fantastic. And they use David Brooks there, and look at the adversity he's had to get to where he is. And now he's away with a strong Welsh squad. So I'm really, really pleased. Will we see any of our boys? Nothing would give me greater pleasure than seeing that. I mean, when James Tarkowski made his debut, I mean, I was coached James for a couple of years, but I was good friends with James more than a football coach to him. But when he made his debut, being an Oldham lad and etc., and coming through the academy at Oldham, I mean, it gives you great pride. If I'm lucky enough across my career to work with players that go on to bigger and better things and are on the world stage, then I will sit there with a smile on my face and I'll be cheering probably them more than the team, because you want them to do well. So I mean, the future's never been brighter. International level now, more young players are getting a chance than ever. You look at Italy, the Dutch, the Welsh too. You look at Gareth. Gareth will always pick good young players. The future's bright for young players across the country and across the world, and I think it's great. I think it's long overdue that youth is given a chance.
Yeah, perfect. And just lastly then, Pete, we'll just end on some of the sort of fans on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They want a bit of news, but what is your message to them to sort of just, in a way, be patient and the good news will come eventually? I'm sure, is that the sort of message? And
pre-season doesn't start to the 19th of July and the season doesn't start to the 21st of August. So, all right, the news might not be free-flowing, but that's nothing to do with us halting, slowing anything down. These things take time. As I said to you before, with the greatest respect, players have had offers, some of them a long time ago, but they're considering their options. Because we've done well, players, clubs will take an interest in our players. That is what it is. We've made them all the best offers that we can possibly make them. We're hopeful by the start of next week that all our re-signing business will be done. And then we're not frantically, that's the wrong word. We are actively working on to supplement the squad. We have offers in with numerous players, and we're now waiting to see if them offers suit what they're looking for. But these things take time, and one thing I can say is that the chairman's been phenomenally supportive, probably in his toughest time at the football club since he's been here. And he's desperate to make sure that we keep improving, and we're all on the same hymn sheet. I wouldn't have signed again if he was just complacent with just staying where we are. I wouldn't have signed. So we all believe we're moving in the right direction, but these things take time. So just be patient. We recruited ever so well last year, which meant we had a really good season. So hopefully we've earned the trust in the bank to be given another chance to recruit well. And I believe that we're talking to the right people to ensure that we recruit well again. So I sit here dead relaxed. I mean, after we finish this call, we're off to meet another player. I sit here dead relaxed because I know things are going in the right direction. Am I frustrated? Yeah, because I want them just to say yes and just to sign a piece of paper. I just want it done. But unfortunately, it don't work like that, and it's a toing and froing of, can we have this? No. Can you have that? Yeah. And these things take time. So we're going in the right direction. Just chill out, enjoy your summer. Footy will be here before you know it, and then you can get back into giving me a load of stick instead of the 10.
That's quality, Pete. And yeah, so there we are. The first. I'm going to try say it again because I want to get it sorted just for next season. The 2021-2022 season. First catch up with the Gaffer of the 2021-2022 season. And hopefully we might be able to do one in person, hopefully soon, with restrictions sort of lifting, hopefully on July the 19th, is it now? It's been pushed back to...
a day before my birthday, mate. So.
Oh, is it? There we are.
Fingers crossed.
hopefully we'll be all out of restrictions then. And of course, like you say, you going over to meet a player today, so it'll be a busy day for yourself then, Pete. And I'm sure this will be going out this evening. Hopefully, so we've recorded this in the Thursday morning, so hopefully be out tonight and the fans can enjoy it. So other than that, thank you for your time, Pete.
Excellent. Stay safe, everybody. See you soon.
See you. Bye.